So before we get into the actual workshop content, I'm just going to run through a few important housekeeping issues that apply across any workshops that we do in science and engineering and maths, in everything really. So anytime you're working with kids, number one, use your common sense. So we frequently use materials like scissors or chemicals or occasionally a scalpel, batteries, very strong magnets, stuff like that, any of which can be dangerous if you use them incorrectly. So the first thing is to not give out the materials until you consult with the teacher that you're working with. The second thing is to demonstrate the correct use of whatever you're using. The kids will almost automatically try and do the exact opposite of what you do, so be prepared for that. But generally, just use your common sense when you're giving out scissors, when you're using electricity, when you're using chemicals, anything like that. In case anything ever does happen in the classroom, an accident or something like that, the school protocols apply. So your first protocol is to ask the teacher what happens next. You always need to be in the room with the teacher for insurance and child protection purposes, so follow the teacher's lead in this situation.
Before getting into details, here are some tips that were quite useful for me when I was doing the Engineering in a Box program. The first one is introduce yourself. You're an engineer. Tell the kids about you, about what you do, about your work. Let them know what a real engineer does. Try to ask them questions, raise their curiosity, and also please be aware that sometimes kids are very, very curious. They might ask you about anything. The color of a component or device, I don't know, sometimes they can even ask what is the electricity charge of an electric eel? I don't know, this kind of questions, so be prepared and encourage them to ask questions and to get involved with the activities. Every kid is different and every group offers you a different experience. Try to collaborate with teachers and to make of this workshop a great one. The teacher can be very helpful here. He can help you rephrase the activities or rephrase the sentences that you just said in order to explain them in an easier way. Just for your information, there are two different roles, main roles in the workshop. The one of the teacher and the one of the co-teacher. In this case, you are the co-teacher. So co-teachers are the ones that give the information of the workshop and the teacher is there to help. Sometimes the teachers have a good example to explain something that you try to say, like, I don't know, bringing up a recent activity that they did or something like that. So teachers are quite useful. They are your friends. Don't be afraid to ask for their help whenever you need it. The teachers will help you mainly with the discipline, to help you organize the kids in groups, and also to give them the material they need for the activities. Try to keep the explanations simple. There are some words that might be too technical, so if you can, change them. Avoid acronyms or anything that might sound kind of complicated. Our activities are in groups, in pairs, or just for one kid. So make sure that every time that we're having one of the activities, everyone is working on it. Even if it is an activity for one person, make sure that no one is struggling. Try to help, but please try not to give them all the information at once. Encourage their thinking, their critical thinking. Try to help them figure out how to solve a problem. And if they really can't, well, give them a hand, give them an idea, and be open to that as well. Let the kids know that there are many ways in which they can solve a problem. So they need to be very creative. There is no wrong way of doing things or a best way to do things, no. The idea is that we all share about the experience, about the way we solved a problem, and that we find the best way in which we can do things all together. Encourage them to share their experiences. So at the end of the activities, it's very good to ask the groups or the kid to talk about what they did. What did they solve a problem in a certain way? It's good for them to hear what the other colleagues or friends did, and also for them to think how to improve their own design, their own solution. But please take into account that not all the kids are very easygoing. Sometimes you need to ask them questions and to encourage them to participate.